recording from a different location. As you can see, I normally use this room for my Patreon reactions. So if you guys want to go check out my Patreon, please do. Also, hi, how you doing? Welcome to more Reddit retail stories. I know I said hi twice. I am sorry. I'm just a little bit excited. I saw some of the titles of these videos, and all I'm thinking of is the audacity. I don't know why those were the words that came to mind, but yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out some more retail shenanigans. Okay, there's no way we could have lost 5 washing machines. How do you lose 5 washing machines? I worked in an electric retail shop as a Christmas temp. A customer came to the till wanting to purchase a washing machine. He had reserved the item. I checked our stock system and the system is showing 5 available. But before I put the transaction through the system, I had to call the warehouse out back to make sure the stock was accurate. I asked the customer to wait on one side while the warehouse searched for the model. After about 5 minutes, the warehouse guy came out and said that they couldn't find the item and recommended that I try to sell a different one. I went to the manager in charge and asked her what I should do. She came to my till and upon checking the stock said, "We have 5 in stock. We can't have lost them all." Then she asked me to head to the back and try and helping finding them. I did as told, and while searching with the warehouse guy, he managed to find the washing machine model that the customer wanted. Oh, okay, so it's not that bad. I would rate this a 1 out of 5 because it's not that bad. I mean, it was able to be resolved. I guess I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have done anything different here. It's just it kind of reminds me of that. Okay, my mom used to do this all the time. I can't find my glasses. Where's my glasses? Da 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 da. I'm like, help me look for my glasses. I look at my mom like, Mommy, your glasses are on your head. And there are times where my gran would misplace something and she will look everywhere and cannot find it. And then I would get up and I will help her look everywhere and I cannot find it. And the next day we find it in the place where we looked. So it's just one of those cases where you will look for something and it'll be staring straight at you and somehow you do not see it. So I think that's what this is, but I wouldn't call this the audacity out of 5. I would just be like, it's just a case of, maybe something staring you straight in the face and you just missed it because you were tired or you were looking too hard for it or you were focusing so much that you actually didn't see it. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the first story. This was nice, short, sweet, a nice, slow, you know, introduction to this week's retail stories. And let's hope that it remains this peaceful and this calm and not go. But yeah, moving on to you are going out of business, so give it to me at 50% off. No! This is why I named the thing the Audacity. But before I lose my mind, let's just read the story. So I worked at a big box store that is going out of business. We have songs up all around the store with what is discounted and by how much. Furniture is 10% off and we can't change that. When a woman walks in and heads directly to furniture, she looks at a bad she looks at a bed and dresser set. After a few moments, walks to the till and skips the line of 4 other people. I want that bed, points at the bed she wants. I can have somehow, I can have somebody from furniture help you out. I need the tag on it, so let me call one of them to bring it to me. Still checking people out while talking to her. Coworker brings me the tag and explains to the customer that is that it is a set and that can't be split up. The customer asks to be checked out, and I explain she needs to wait in line. She looks at the line of the people and said, "Fine." I hear her complaining the entire time of how she is in a rush while taking care of other people, groceries, and other odd things. Finally, she gets to the front and I ring her up. Okay, the price of the set is so much. I tell her. She looks at me and goes, "I don't want the set. I want the bed and the headboard only." I explain to her that it is a set and can't be split up. "Well, you're going out of business, so give me the 50% off." She yelled at me. I explained that isn't how it works. No, that's not how it works. I ask if she wants the furniture to see if they can find something similar. That so just the bed and headboard. No, I looked online and there is nothing close to what I want. So just give me the bed because I'm not leaving without just the bed. That's not how that works. You don't walk into a store in somebody else's business and make demands. No, that's not. Ooh, I radio for the furniture and tell her, okay, I move one computer over and call for the next customer. The look on the lady's face as she yelled at me for being unprofessional was great. Furniture guy walks over and tries to talk to the woman, but she just kept yelling at about how she. Okay, this time it's not me. This time it's how this person is spelling. Okay, she just kept yelling at. Oh, she just kept yelling about how she is glad this place is going out of business and this is why she never shopped here. She left in a fit of anger. So a few hours later, one of my coworkers walk up to me and shows me a picture of a bed and headboard that are solo sitting in the back that was tagged wrong in the system. He told me if she would have waited, he would have went and found it for her. To be quite honest, I would have refused service. That's how I would have handled the situation. Because I'm not sure with all companies, but I'm pretty sure with most or half the companies or half the stores, you can refuse service to customers. You do have that right. So if a customer like this walked in and I'm like, "Sorry, ma'am, I'm not going to serve you." And if she threw a tantrum, I would have called security and ask security to remove her off the premises. Because I'm sorry that you don't behave like this. You don't walk into the store, start verbally abusing people and screaming and shouting at people because you want something. If you're going to act like a child, then be expected to be treated and handled like a child. I don't know. That's my take on it. I would call this a 3 out of 5 because I mean, you don't treat people like this. And I'm pretty sure I've had enough rants about this. But like I said, I'm actually in a extremely good mood today. I'm like really, really calm and relaxed and peaceful. And I think that's why I'm not venting as much as what I normally would when it comes to stories like this. But yeah, that's how I would have handled the situation. Let me know how you would have handled the situation and what you would have done and what you rate this out of 5. So yeah, moving on, we are moving to it's still $100 bill and I still can't take that. Just take a deep breath, go. And one more time. Sorry, I can feel the scream sitting in my chest, and like I said, I'm already feeling calm and relaxed, and I don't want to go all because normally when I'm all I'm in a bad mood for the rest of the day. So this time I'm trying to remain zen, and I can't believe I'm talking like this because normally I don't talk like this or use words like zen. But anyway, moving on. Here's my nomination for dimmest bulb in the chandelier of customers. Okay, so not the sharpest crayon in the box, I get. Gonzo, who as of yesterday has me convinced that he has zero idea as to how money actually works. I've been suspecting this for a long time because Gonzo is the kind of guy who, upon getting paid, will spend a huge chunk of it on lottery, Gonzo is the kind of guy who will take over the checkout counter with buying scratcher after scratcher and scratches them right there at the register. He has no concept that other people want to pay for their stuff too, and he would hold up the line for 20 minutes if you let him. But I don't let him. Gonzo is that kind of customer that you have to treat like a naughty child and tell him, no, it's other people's turn now. So yesterday I came into the gas station and mid shift starting at 2 p.m. and Gonzo was already there. He wasn't in line but on the phone, off to the side. Shift change went as per usual with my quick count of the minimum balance draw, and with that happy crap, my work day began. Okay, so that's fine. Within minutes, Gonzo was at my counter asking for cigarettes, which he paid for by card, all well and good. Next, he requested his first lotto ticket of the day, which came to $24. He presented me with a crisp $100 bill, whereupon he was informed that I couldn't take that. I didn't have enough change. I just opened and he'd just seen me do it. Synapses were almost firing when he asked the lady behind him for change, but she also didn't have it. So here's where it gets stupid. Gonzo gets out of line since he can't pay, and the lady behind him pays for her stuff by card. There was no one else behind her. So he steps up and asks for the same tickets as before, brandishing the same $100 bill. What the F? I don't have the change, he's informed curtly again. Okay, Gonzo says. Wanders around the store a bit and then comes back and says he wanted $20 worth of gas. Before I do anything, I must insist, show me the money. And he pulls out the $100 bill. Raising my voice for that rare kind of kooky customer who's not getting it. Otherwise, I can't take that bill. If you show it to me again, I'm kicking you out. Fortunately, Gonzo left on his own. To be honest, I don't like how this retailer handled the situation. Normally, what we did if we didn't have enough change, we would try and convince the customer, hey, do you maybe want to buy something else and then we can give you the change for that. Or we would ask somebody else who has a till if they have the change and then, they give us the change. Even though we did card payments most of the time, but here in South Africa, we have this thing called load shedding. Okay, and it's not as bad as what it used to be. At one stage, it was like really bad. Like they would cut our power off for 8 hours a day. And it's not because nobody was paying the electricity bill or anything like that. I'm not going to get into the whole history of it and why it happens in South Africa. If you guys do want to go check it out, I will leave an article in this. I'll leave a link to an article in the description below if you guys want to go read up on it. And there is an author who also wrote a book about the how corrupt the load shedding is in South Africa. And I would suggest give that book a read. I would love to read that book just to find out, like, just to gain more insights on how it works. Because he used to work in Eskom, and Eskom is South Africa's electricity place or power stations. It's South Africa's power stations. He used to work in Eskom. He got out and he did a whole um exposure on Eskom in our country in his book. So I will also leave the link. I'll also leave a link into where you can find the book in the description down below if you want to go check it out. But we would often ask, like, hey, listen, do you, we would often try and get change for the customer, or ask the customer, hey, listen, do you maybe want to buy something else so we can give you the right change? Or we would always try and negotiate with our customers. We won't shout at our customers. We won't get irritated with our customers. So I would say this is highly unprofessional, and I don't think that the way this retailer handled the situation was right. He could have been more patient. I get you get those annoying customers that just hit that right nerve and will work on that nerve until you explode. But when working in business, when working in retail, when working for somebody else, you cannot lose your temper like this. So I think that's my only critique on this one. That's my only issue that I have with this. So again, I would rate this a 3 out of 5 because this is not how you should treat your customers, and this is not how you should handle situations when customers really want to buy something from you. You always try and work it out with the customer or be like, hey, listen, can't you um, maybe, go to go draw some, we can draw a couple of $20 bills and then we can work out the small change. And you always try and work something else out with the customer. And if the customer really does not have anything less than the $100 bill, then you be like, you can come back tomorrow. We can keep this aside for you. And then when you come back tomorrow with the right amount of money, we can give you the ticket or we can give you whatever you wanted to buy. That's how we would normally handle the situation. So, yeah, what do you guys think? How would you rate the story and how would you handle this situation? Wow, I'm actually speed running through these stories. I'm actually surprised. Okay, fourth story. Ma'am, I'm just 14. A few important things to know. I live in Finland, and during the story, I was 14 years old. When you turn 14 in Finland, you can get a 2 week summer job, 6 hours per day for 10 days, no weekends. Now, the story about 4 days into working, I was stocking shelves in the nut and cereal aisle. Okay, let me just highlight so I can see where I am with two other summer workers. At some point, this Canadian woman, I'll call her C for Canadian, comes up and asks if I speak English. I said yes, and how can I help you? Well, when C realized that I could speak English, she started talking politics and how bad the economy situation in Canada is for a few minutes. When C finally stopped, her husband arrived, who was also Finnish and from the same town I was. He greeted me, looked at his wife, grabbed the nuts they were looking for, and left. C looked at me, said that she hopes she will see me in Canada someday. Then C thanked me for helping. I just smiled and said, have a great day. Then I turned to the other workers, told them what's happened, and we laughed for a while. I'm confused. Okay, I'm gonna read the comments. Okay, so somebody says, I guess she needed someone to talk to about Canada. Her husband probably hit the mute button when she starts talking. Oh, Canada is a terrible place. Thought you were going to end with C being wildly inappropriate, grabby, inviting to not 14-year-old friend. Yeah, that's what the title was like. Oh, that's not that's nuts. Husband, let's grab these nuts and go. I'm Finnish as well, and we have some crazy stories from working as a cashier. We have this one guy now banned from our store who stole some stuff from us, proceeded to come back the next day, admitting to the stealing and returning what he stole, and was then asked to leave our store. Then a few days later, this guy comes back and starts gaslighting us about how he never stole from us. He never admitted to doing so, and that we are lying and crazy. I don't understand the story. If somebody can please explain this to me, because I am rating this a confusion out of 5. Why would you say? Maybe because she doesn't understand much about politics, and this grown um woman is talking, or this adult woman is talking to her about politics, and she's like, I'm 14 years old. I don't know anything about politics, or I don't care about politics, unless if it's from that point of view. So I'll rate this a confusion out of 5. I would have honestly, if I was that young and I was able to work, and because here in South Africa you have to be, I think, 18 before you can start work. You're not allowed to. starts working when you're still in school, from what I understand. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, because when I turned 16 and I wanted a job, I was told no, you have to be 18. So you have to be 18 because I wanted to work while I was in high school just to get some experience and find out what the working world was like. And then I was told, no, you can't. You, unless if your parents own a business and you work for your parents while still in school, then yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I would have honestly just turned to her and be like, ma'am, I'm 14 years old. I don't know anything about politics, or I don't know very little about politics. And quite frankly, right now, I don't care about politics. That's how I would have handled the situation, but I don't know. I'm not too sure about this one. Moving on to our last story. We're cashiers, not doctors. Preach. I don't know why I'm saying preach. I'm a supervisor. That makes perfect sense. I'm a shift supervisor for a retail drugstore chain. I notice the line is long, so I jump on the next register to help my cashier. Okay. We're gradually moving customers along until an old woman, about 80-ish, comes up. She brings up two boxes of Rogaine. For those of you who don't know, it's a topical supplement that is supposed to help with your hair grow back. Oh, okay. The men's and women's and hands them to my cashier. She asks my cashier, what's the difference between the men's and the women's? My cashier says she doesn't know, but it does say on the men's box, do not use if you are a woman. The old lady asks, so why can't I use the men's? Cashier tries to explain that this is something she's going to have to Google. Old lady keeps asking several times why can't she use the men's? Cashier uses different versions of the same answers, varying from Google it. To ask your doctor to, we're not qualified to answer that. By this time, old lady, my store manager has jumped to help move the line. Cashier shoots me this. Help me look, and I give my manager this. I'm going in for the kill. Look, I'm at this point in my life where I no longer no longer tolerate stupidity. It's no secret that if provoked, I can be quite insufferable to stupid people. I'm usually the one colleague called to clear out people like this in a somewhat loud but firm voice. I tell old lady she's a cashier, not a doctor. She doesn't know nor is qualified to. You need to either talk to a dermatologist or your doctor to know the difference. You are holding up the line, either make a choice or leave. The old lady buys her non Rogaine items and leaves. Once the line is cleared, the cashier thanks me for getting rid of the old lady. As a curiosity check, we take a closer look at the two boxes of Rogaine. Men is 5%, women 5%, and women's is 2%. We still don't know why women can't use the higher percentage. Edits. I noticed some comments suggesting that we should have sent her to talk to the pharmacy. One of the things cashiers said was to go talk to the pharmacy. It blew right over her head. Old lady was asking the same questions for about 5 minutes. Okay, I understand why she jumped in and said, hey, listen, you're holding up the line, either buy or leave. Um, I wouldn't have. I understand that. Like, so to the part where she says she's a cashier, not a doctor, she doesn't know nor is qualified. So you need to either talk to a dermatologist or your doctor to know the difference. You are holding up the line, either make a choice or leave. So here I would have said she's a cashier, not a doctor. Let me take you to the pharmacist and then they can explain it to you in more detail because you are holding up the line and people like you are holding up the line. And then I would have escorted her to the pharmacist and let them explain everything to her so she can make a choice. And then I would have gone back to the tills to continue helping out. That's how I would have handled the situation. But I don't think being rude, especially to an older lady, somebody who's in their 80s, 90s, 100, to be rude to them, you don't do that. You respect your elders, whether they deserve your respect or not. You do respect your elders. I'm sorry, they've lived on this earth longer than you. They've experienced more things than you have experienced. They kind of don't need to be treated like. I don't agree with the way she spoke to her. I think that's the only thing. I still agree with, hey, you're holding up the line part, but I think I would have just phrased it differently, and I would have been like, let's take a walk to the pharmacist, and then I would have engaged in a conversation with her on the way to the pharmacist, like, why are you interested in this product? Why do you want to know the difference? And I would have asked him like, oh, we at the pharmacist, and then I would have explained the situation to the pharmacist, and then he could have, and I was like, I need to get back to the tills. Have a lovely day, ma'am. And then I would have gone back to the tills to continue helping out. I think that's how the situation should have been handled. I would rate this a 3 out of 5 because of the disrespect to the elderly, not for any other reason. But yeah, that's just me. What do you guys think of this story? What would you rate the story, and how would you have handled the situation? And I think the audacity is a perfect title for this video. Also, I find in this week's retail stories, it's the retailers who are in the wrong. Not all of them, only two of the stories. But still, no, do better. But yeah, with that being said, guys, please don't forget to check out my merch. Yes, I do have a merch store. If you guys want to check that out, the description is in the link below. As you guys can see, we've got blankets, we've got notebooks, we've got shirts, we've got mugs, water bottles, hoodies, mouse pads. We got shoes. We even got clothes for children. We've got badges and stuff like that. So yeah, and then if you guys go to the menu here, you'll see home, all products. We've got Boo Brass, Born Under a Rock, a webtoon series that I am still working on, and Jules in Minecraft. So it's just my Minecraft design based off my character. So if you guys want to go check that out, please do. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this week's story. It was more peaceful than normal, but yeah, until next week, bye.